I climbed Celestial and Eternity by mostly solo queuing, and these are the tips I think will help you in your games as they did in mine. Communication. I know people can be toxic, and it might be easier to mute everyone completely. I did the same when I first started off too. However, doing so would make you miss out on a critical part of the game. It's still important to communicate with your teammates, whether through pings or voice chat. This allows you to call for picks, ask for help, and coordinate ability combos effectively. Self-improvement. The only person we can truly control is ourselves. Focus improving yourself first, before finding faults in others. This means understanding your abilities, combos, effective matchup, and counters. Review your gameplay, seek advice from more experienced players, and be open to change. Master characters. If you want to have fun and play everyone, that's great. However, if your goal is to truly climb, focus on mastering 3 to 4 characters across different roles. I love playing tank, but I'm always ready to switch to whatever my team needs or if I recognize that I'm not playing well against the enemy. Flexibility is key, but don't just jump into any role or character unless you genuinely feel comfortable with it. Breaks. For your own sanity, learn when to stop playing. Whether it's from fatigue, feeling tilted because you're stuck in loser's queue, or you keep getting that 017 OTP who refuses to swap off. Knowing when to take break is key. I usually stop after 3 to 4 losses no matter what. Step away from the game or switch from rank to some quick play and knock out your missions. Whatever you do, breaks are important. Positioning. This is more of an in-game tip, but it's so important that I wanted to include it here. Focus on improving your positioning. 9 out of 10 times when I review VODs from Bronze to Celestial, positioning is the area we work on the most. It really comes down to playing for cover. Whether you're a vanguard, duelist, or strategist, you always want to make sure you're near cover or have a quick way to escape into it. Playing this way has saved me from dying needlessly, and the longer you stay alive, the more effective you are in the game. That's just math. Map control. Controlling the game starts with mastering 3 key objectives before focusing on your actual goal. High ground, pushing, and holding a choke. High ground isn't just about better aim. It provides cover, better sightlines, and forces enemies to look up, making them easy pickings. Which is why it's crucial to take the high ground whenever possible. If you're forced to fight from below, look for a way to reposition instead of engaging in a losing battle. Great players are not reactive, they're proactive. Keep track of where enemies are pushing from, listen for ability sounds, and watch where your teammates are positioned. If the enemy team has a flanker, expect them to come from the side or behind. And if you just eliminated a healer, push aggressively and take the 6v5. You want to play aggressively without overextending. Playing too passively allows the other team to reset, and in ranked, hesitation loses games. Another key part of controlling the map are choke points. Holding a choke with your team forces enemies into predictable paths, making them easier to pick off, for you to protect your team and pressure opponents into making bad plays. Remember, control the map, control the game. It's all about timing. Assuming you already know your cooldowns and kill combos for your characters, it's also important to understand the cooldowns and durations of your enemy's abilities. This doesn't mean memorizing every ability on Marvel Rivals Wiki, but rather knowing the key abilities that affect your specific gameplay. Example, I find that it helps me to know that Mantis and Invisible Woman ultimates last 8 seconds, Cloak and Dagger dashes last 8 seconds each, Luna's ultimate runs for 12 seconds, Loki's Regeneration Domain has a 25-second cooldown, Adam Warlock's Soul Bond is 30 seconds, and Magneto's Bulwark lasts 12 seconds. By keeping track of timings like those, I am able to play smarter, use my abilities effectively to secure a kill or push an objective. Think about what abilities can stop your game plan, because it's this level of thinking that separates a good player from a great one. Priority targets. Winning fights isn't just about dealing damage, it's about eliminating the right enemies first. While I love my supports and would do anything to protect them, I absolutely despise the enemy strategists. Therefore, supports should always be your top priority, because as long as they're alive, the enemy team can heal through damage and turn fights in their favor. Think about how many times your insane 5-man ult gets completely shut down by Luna clicking her Q, and suddenly you're scrolling through Instagram for the next 12 seconds, 24 if they also have a Loki. Next on your list should be high damage dealers, who can pick off your team if left unchecked. Flankers, snipers, and any flying death machines like Iron Man, Storm, or Human Torch should be taken out as soon as possible. Now, I'm not just saying this because I love vanguards, but tanks should usually be your last target unless they're isolated or low on health. Wasting damage on a full health tank while their team is still alive is one of the fastest ways to lose a fight. Instead, break their formation by eliminating key targets first, then clean up the front line. This doesn't mean you should ignore tanks completely. Adjust your priority based on who you can take out without getting yourself killed. Removing threats effectively allows you to have an easier time winning fights. Playing selflessly instead of selfishly. What I mean is that you don't always need to dive into a 1v6 or land that big old clip for YouTube. Playing effectively and making small but consistently good moves is one of the most successful yet oftentimes overlooked strategies for climbing ranks. Instead of constantly trying to make flashy plays, focus on using your abilities effectively to protect your team, stay alive, and eliminate 1 to 2 key targets. Take a step back and observe the flow of the game, looking for opportunities to support your teammates rather than being the one to score every kill. That could mean using your Strange or Groot ult to bait out an enemy defensive ult so your Star-Lord can auto-aim his way to victory. Sometimes, the victory comes from you setting up the pass instead of taking the shot. It's also essential to create distractions for the enemy. Depending on who you're playing, it's better to take an off angle instead of attacking from the front. Sneak around and disrupt their backline. Even if you don't secure a kill, causing confusion and forcing the enemy to shift focus can open up opportunities for your team to capitalize on. The more you play in a way that forces the enemy to react to you rather than the other way around, the more you'll help your team secure the kill and take the win. A battle of minds. This is a tip that may not be for everyone, but it has helped me climb in Marvel Rivals and games like it. That is to break your enemy's mentality. Tilting your enemy is one of the most satisfying ways to win a game.
I am getting f***ed in the ass by a Venom, and you walk by him and go, "Where are my healers? What do you mean?"
And in Marvel Rivals, it's honestly not that hard to do. This could range from punishing that flanking Panther side lock over and over again, or telling your dive DPS to focus the Luna, then kill her again while coming back from spawn. Or even relentlessly targeting the solo tank Groot with Bucky Hook, Mantis Sleep, Invisible Pull, or any other CC in the game and make it a miserable experience for them to even play. The key is to find those moments where they're feeling confident and then systematically dismantle that confidence. Make them question their every move, or better yet, make them question their team. Remember, in this strategy, you're not just playing against their character, you're playing against their ego. When you get inside their head and start exploiting their mistakes, they're forced to play reactively instead of proactively. And that's when you really have the advantage. They'll begin to tilt,
Bro, this game is not fun.
overextend, or swap to Widow because they're too focused on their pride and not the actual game. The best part, once you've broken their mentality, it becomes almost too easy to close out the game. Those are just some tips that I've always kept in my head for this game and other competitive games like it. They have helped me climb, and I hope they help you as well.